Bueno, bueno, bueno. What's up, guys? We back at it. I'm still Marissa Ann, and welcome back to my channel. You guessed it. In today's video, I'm gonna teach you how to take the perfect picture. Okay, so maybe not the perfect picture, but it'll be perfect in my eyes. You know, everybody has their own reference. Seems super simple, right? Well, spoiler alert, it is. Honestly, anybody can take a picture. That's why phones have cameras on them, so you take pictures. I'm just basically gonna show you how to take a picture, but above average picture. Honestly, on the basic side, there are really only 3 steps you need to follow, but I'm gonna add 5 more just so you can, like I said, have that picture be above average. The first step is lighting. Lighting is extremely important when taking a picture. If you're taking a picture outside, you wanna make sure that the sun is shining on that object or that person that you're going to be taking a picture of. You never ever want the sun in front of you. Like, you don't ever want to take a picture of the sun being in front of you unless you're taking a picture of the sun, which is not easy. You gotta literally close your eyes to do it. But anyways, there's no reason you should be taking a picture of the sun, because if there's a person in front of that sun, the sun is actually in back of them, because the lighting from the sun really helps you if you really want to get that crisp, clear, outside HD picture. So yeah, when you're taking a picture outside, it's very important that the sun is your flash, basically. When you're taking a picture inside and the lighting isn't the best, you want to make sure you have a good flash on your camera, because you want to make sure that that person's face comes out clear. It's all about clarity, honestly. That's another step that I'm going to get to. But you want to make sure that the lighting shows the person's face, brings out the colors, everything's good. Especially if there's like a darker person in the picture or even a lighter person in the picture. You want to make sure that the lighting accommodates for the darker person so they come out. Especially if it's a dark room, you're not going to see that dark person. I'm telling you. Dark people do disappear in the dark when it comes to taking pictures. I'm dark myself. My dad is darker than me. Trust me, I know. So it's very important to have that flash. And if you are a photographer, do use a DSLR camera. You might have the night vision on there or the no flash version on there. Those pictures come out real cool, but for those pictures to get the best pristine picture with no flash, you want to make sure you have a tripod, because you have to be extremely still for those pictures to come out crystal crisp and clear. Tip number 2, angles. You want to make sure that when you take a picture, the person that you're taking a picture of is in the picture. You don't want their arm cut off, you don't want their eye cut off, you don't want their head cut off, you don't want their hair cut off. You want to make sure that they're in the picture. That is very important when it comes to angles. When you're taking a picture of an object, you want to make sure that that object is in the picture. With me, when I take pictures of objects, especially if I'm going to like sell them or want to make sure that everything gets seen, I try to put the object in the center, and then everything around me is like not important. But I try to put that object in the center, and I try to get everything that I can and make sure that that object stays in the middle of the photo. That way when I come out, the angles, you see everything, and it's just bam, that picture, that photo. The third most important tip is clarity. Honestly, the top 3: lighting, angles, and clarity. Clarity is so important. You do not want your picture to be blurry. Blurry pictures are terrible. Sometimes, you know, you have good candid blurry ones, and those are like, if you take 10 pictures and like 3 of them are blurry, you're only probably gonna want 2 of them or 1 of them, because blurry pictures are terrible, honestly. I hate blurry pictures. Every time I take a picture and it comes out blurry, I immediately delete it because I hate it so much. So you want to make sure that you have clarity in your photo. No blurriness whatsoever. How you can do that is when you're taking the picture, don't shake around too much. Like, make sure when somebody gives you their phone and says, hey, can you take a picture of me? Make sure you're as still as possible, you know? Make sure that, you know, you're flat on the floor, nothing's moving, the ground's not shaking. Make sure you are completely still. That takes out any type of blurriness. And yeah, sometimes when you're taking a selfie, it is hard to like stay still because you're trying to get that perfect angle from your phone. But just make sure, just try to be as still as possible. For me, it helps me when I hold my breath. When I hold my breath for like 3 seconds, I'm pretty still when I do that, and it's easier for me to take a picture. Tip number 4 is what I like to call the power of 2. So the power of two is basically whenever you decide to take a picture, or if somebody asks you to take a picture, always take two pictures. Because one, it's always good to take two pictures just because if the other one doesn't come out how you like. Or sometimes if you take another picture, the person that was blinking in the first picture is not blinking in the second picture. So it's always most important when you're taking pictures of anything, always take two. The power of two. I'm telling you, it works. So tip number 5 is the one that I like to call cutoffs. Cutoff kind of sisters with angles when I'm talking about this. What I basically mean by cutoffs is, like I said, you don't want an arm cut off, you don't want half of their face cut off, you want to make sure that the whole person is in the photo. It is very important that if you're taking a picture, you want to make sure that everything is in that picture. So when you take a picture of a stop sign, you want to make sure that you get everything in that picture. Do not cut off anything. Make sure that whole stop sign is in that picture. If you're taking a picture of a person, just one person, I recommend to get their whole body in the picture. When you go to places to go develop your photos, you'll have the option to crop your photo. That way, if you took a picture of the whole person, you know, from head to toe, and they just want from their waist up, all you gotta do is crop it. You just gotta make sure that that photo is from head to toe and that they are, you know, not blurry, nothing's cut off, you know what I mean? You wanna make sure that you check off the first 3 things on the list before you develop that picture and crop that photo. Tip number 6 kind of piggybacks on number 5. This applies to groups though, groups or more than one person. When you're taking a group picture, you honestly have different options that you can choose from. If it's a multiple group of people, like, you know, 10 people and more, you're probably gonna want to move back and take a further away picture because you want to make sure you get everybody in the picture, because that's a lot of people. If it's just a small group of people, you can come a little bit closer, you know. If you can still get their feet in there and their head in there, obviously, always get their head and feet. If you can still manage to get their feet in there, then definitely take a picture from their feet to their head. If it is a little bit less than a group, if it's like a group of 4, 3, 5, you know, before 10, it depends. You can take a picture from their waist up if they're standing, or if they're sitting down from their waist up. You can take a picture from their knees up and cut off their feet there. But honestly, I recommend not cutting off feet at all and just later on cropping their feet out if you want to. Always just get their feet. If you can, get their feet. But if you can't, make sure at least from their head to at least their knees can be covered, or make sure that you at least get their outfit, you know. Maybe the shoes aren't that important. If you're anything like my sister, she really likes the way she looks in outfits sometimes, so every time I take a picture of her, she most of the time wants me to get her shoes in there. But you know, I guess, you know, if she really wants her shoes in there. So, you know, some people are like my sister, so you want, if you can get their shoes in there, for sure, do that. That should be your first choice picture. If you can't, it's fine. Just at least get their outfit, their whole outfit. If they have pants on, like I said, cut off at the knees. At least get their outfit. Because, you know, especially if you're taking pictures at events or something like that, and, you know, people are looking nice, you want to get, you know, their outfit a little bit. You know, you want to show how they look. So, yeah, I recommend when you're taking pictures of groups, like, knees up, torso up, you know, you want to get a good amount of them, a good amount. Number 7, the camera shies. So these are like 2 different people. There are some people who are camera shy and who kind of avoid the camera at all costs, and then there are those people who kind of get lost in the crowd but don't really say anything. So for situations like that, my go-to phrase is, if you can't see the camera can't see you. So usually when I say that, the people from who were like in the back couldn't stick up for themselves, you know, telling people to move, they usually step forward, they usually show their face, they usually make that move to, you know, change the position where they are in the camera. And the camera shy people, I mean, they just get embarrassed, but they still kind of stay behind somebody. If anything, they go behind that person even more. And that's the whole thing, like with me, is like, if you want to take a picture, then take a picture. If you don't want to take a picture, don't take a picture, you know. But if you want your eyebrow in there to prove that you were there, I'm the perfect person to take a picture of your eyebrow, you know what I mean? So I'm just telling you, there's camera shy people out there. If they want to be in the picture, then, you know, say what I said. If you can't see the camera cannot see you, and I guarantee you they will come out. If there is still that shy person who's still a little bit timid to come out, then actually point them out, because when you're looking through the camera, and like I said, if there's a lot of people, that person is already gonna get lost in the sea of people. If it's like I said, less than amount of 10, you want to make sure, hey, can you move up a little bit? Can you show your face a little bit? I can't see you on the camera. You know, try to just bring them up slowly, because you got in the picture for a reason, so take a picture. So the last tip, this one's optional, is to smile. I always like taking pictures of people who are smiling because, I don't know, they just bring life to the picture. They brighten up a person's day. You know, I think smiles are awesome, you know. Everybody should smile. So whenever I take a picture of somebody and they ask me, I always be like, okay, smile. You know, I always say smile. That person doesn't have to, but it always comes out better in the pictures. Well, that's all I got. Just 8 simple tips. And I hope that next time when you take a picture, you at least use one of the tips that I gave you, and hopefully you might see a difference. I do just want to point out one last time the 3 most important tips, and that is lighting, angles, and clarity. So if you have those, if you get all 3 of those check marked in your little process of taking a picture, your picture, I guarantee you, will be perfect, okay? It will be perfect. If you guys like this video, make sure you give me that thumbs up. And if you want to see more of what I got under my sleeves, then definitely subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos every Friday. I will see you next week for more videos.